Well, it depends on which part of the world you're talking about. If you're looking at the Far East, you have a huge urbanization surge, and the challenge will be for the whole public transport system to keep up with that strong growth of populations in the urban centers. And there the challenge is more keeping up with the growth. And that means keeping up with the financing needs, keeping up with the skills needs. So there's a huge growth challenge there. In other parts of the world, it's much more about maintaining the cost, because obviously these systems are expensive. None of them really make money, except very few examples that do make money. So there's a huge challenge there to keep up with the latest technologies, to renovate old systems, and to make sure that the system keeps meeting the needs of the consumer into the future. Because it is a consumer. Public transport is a consumer business. It's not about engineering. It's about making sure that the public you serve still wants to be served by you into the future. So the system has to be not just efficient, but compelling to the commuter. Otherwise you lose them and you start to take a car or a motorcycle, which has their own advantages and disadvantages depending on where people live. But certainly if you are trying to make the general public shift from private sector transportation to public sector transportation, you have to think of it as a consumer challenge, and you have to meet the needs of the user. Well, as the World Bank, we don't work directly with companies per se. We work with the governments and then the national governments, representatives, and the governments of provinces and cities, so that they develop their policies and their priorities, and we try to be helpful in defining those goals and plans in ways that are achievable. And in that respect, of course, as the World Bank, we provide financing there where the financing is required, or we provide advice there where the advice is desired. And typically we try to mix both financing and advice on international best practice to these cities and governments, so that the best aspects of the potential of these systems get realized. Well, I think the technology challenge is not so much how to build a train. I mean, trains have wheels and motors and they drive. That's not the problem. Buses have wheels and engines and they drive. That's not the problem. I think the biggest challenge is going to be information and ticketing. To get the right information on the ticket about the user, so that the proper discounts are given by transaction, so that the user has the right incentive to take the intermodal solution that you offer, so that the city also knows where are those passengers, how many passengers are there on a train or on a tram or on a bus at any one given time. For instance, Korea has done a lot of work in the past 10 years to understand how to manage the assets through information technology. And that is fairly much the type of model that is still one of the leading edge cases where information technology, integrated ticketing, is turning out to be one of the key drivers of success of public transportation management. It's a great occasion. We meet in these occasions the leaders of the world in each of their disciplines. And in that respect, congratulations to Terrapin for getting all the right people together in one place. I think these occasions are really where you are able to discuss with peers in your sector what's going on in their part of the world that maybe you can't all follow yourself in detail. So it's a great place to catch up and meet old friends as well. So I'm very happy to be here today.